During the third millennia, in a strange place known as the United States of America, a war was brewing. Brainwashed Marxist idiots in colleges across the nation clashed with equally brainwashed, anime-obsessed neo-Nazis. Starbucks windows were shattered, Dodge Challengers were totaled, and Muslims realized that rental vans were cheaper than plane tickets. Skinny, anemic millennials from coast to coast were hospitalized with life-changing injuries such as sprains and first-degree burns. And the heroic knights of 4chan rose up to defeat Shia LaBeouf and drive the evil villain into a descent towards a madness the likes from which he would never recover. As the enemies of freedom destroy the cities that raised them, as America begins to resemble an Iron Maiden album come to life, two heroes have risen up to fight against the culture of utter madness and restore sanity the only way they know how, by refusing to take any of it seriously. Mersh.
And I said, hey, oi, let's chop your penis off. Oi, can I have my penis back? Why do you have dreadlocks, you white oppressor?
Royce Lopez.
Always be aborting. A always be aborting. Always be aborting.
Breaking news.
Breaking news,
You're
guys.
hearing it only on our show first. Apparently Donald Trump has worked out a deal. He will get the wall. Unfortunately, it's going to be a rock climbing wall.
Oh, no! The other side's going to be a slide. You climb the wall up and you just
lands into a nice, clean, chlorinated pool. And then you immediately get a welfare check. Fucking A.
Oh, shit. He was a boy, he went to girl, now he wants to be a boy again.
Oh, God, just stay a girl if you're going to be this indecisive.
I think Caitlyn Jenner's a handsome woman with a great penis. Look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with trannies. I just don't want to put that one's cock in my mouth.
Bound forever by their mutual love of smoking marijuana, Simpsons references and affection towards Alex Jones, these two men have joined forces to bring you uncut news and opinions directly from the belly of the beast. Saving Western civilization one childish dick joke at a time, here they are, your new heroes of the Imperium, Mersh and Royce Lopez.
The beginning of the week, the beginning of spring, and another episode of your favorite right-wing news and comedy program, Revenge of the Cis. Big guest joining us today in the second hour. We'll have a candidate for the 43rd Congressional seat. Edwin Duterte will be joining us. Don't forget, of course, share this stream right now. Share the links. RevengeOfTheCis.com is now your one-stop destination you need to remember. Rate us 5 stars on iTunes, on Facebook, etc. Tell your friends. Find us some new recruits in this media insurgency. And, Mike Shilley, Royce Lopez, happy Monday morning.
Hello.
Somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Yeah, seriously.
Right? Remember that movie?
No. I've never seen it. What is it?
Oh, it's called Office Space. It's brilliant. You know the guy who does Silicon Valley?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He did some earlier stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what?
He's been around for a long time, it turns out.
Seriously?
Yeah. He did, remember Beavis and Butthead?
That was him?
Apparently he was involved in that.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's kind of like Train, where they just got famous now, but been around for 20 years? I got it.
Like Maroon 5.
Yeah, like Maroon 5.
Wow, this Maroon 5, they're really hot, huh? And you're like, I remember him in like 2004.
I know, yeah.
think.
They're not that new.
They had an at-bat a long time ago. But yeah, so good morning. Good afternoon.
How's everyone doing? I guess we'll start with the breaking news.
Breaking news, you say? Yeah, I was watching this all morning.
Situation in Austin right now. The police issuing a public safety alert, telling citizens to be on guard. They're investigating at least 3 incidences. Earlier this morning, Wolf, they were investigating 2 incidents. Now, within the last 42 minutes, we hear of a third. Now, they believe they're all connected because they're just too similar. The victims in each case are going to the front steps, finding a package that has been hand-delivered, according to authorities, and when they open it up, that's when the package explodes. Now,
Ted Kaczynski?
Honestly, though, fucking Ted Kaczynski's getting BTFO'd right now. He better be careful.
Yeah.
Because somebody's coming for your record, dog.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's a fucking high bar.
Well, I mean, because let's be honest, he wasn't as prolific. He didn't kill as much, but he did it spread out over a longer time.
Right.
So Ted Kaczynski would still have sort of a Bruno Sammartino vibe as far as champion bomb mailers.
Yeah, he would be, yeah.
But this new guy might be like a John Cena who's just going to hold the title a lot more times in a shorter
All right, I like
time.
that. I like that.
That's a nice analogy.
Yeah, that makes sense to me now.
This is not good, though.
we know at least 1 person has died as a result of today's explosion, today's blast. A 17-year-old, an adult female is also in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. We're still waiting to get more information on this third blast, but they are...
I guess so.
Holy shit balls. I was pretty much assumed when the news broke, because I watched the live feed from one of the most credible and I'd say trusted news sources on planet Earth. And of course, I'm talking about InfoWars. Since this is happening in Austin, guess who's headquartered in Austin?
Who, Mike?
So, InfoWars has been covering this. Owen Schroyer was on the scene. Good old Owen. He has to be probably in the top 5 worst on the scene reporters I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's up there. Good looking kid. He gets a lot of tail. Looks good on camera. Speaks pretty well. But, and honestly, I'll give Owen Schroyer credit. When he's doing a prepped segment, he's excellent.
Right.
He is terrible on his feet.
He cannot.
Not good. It's not good. Like, he showed up, and to his credit, he was the first guy there. And he did make it much closer to the scene than anybody else did, because they got there later. During the video, they did change the crime scene a second time. So they made it much larger and wider. And they made the perimeter much bigger, so they pushed him back. But most of the press was already in that second area. Like, they couldn't get in. So he was in there for a while streaming, but he doesn't speculate well. He doesn't fill time well. He doesn't speak well. Like,
he doesn't wear a suit.
Well, that wasn't, to be fair.
He was upset that Well, his boss was upset. Alex was upset.
Oh, that was this is my favorite
Yeah.
part. So he rushed to get there, and he was covering it. And I noticed it was strange. He kept bringing up the fact that he didn't have a jacket. And he was like, I apologize. I got here late. I didn't get to grab a jacket. I didn't get to grab this. I'm so sorry. And I'm thinking, like, nobody cares, Owen. Just keep filming the scene and talking to people. And he's obsessed with the idea of getting a jacket, right? Mm-hmm. And then finally he admits, I don't think he meant to, but he kind of let it slip on the air that his boss was yelling at him for not having a jacket. I was so happy today as I was watching this, and I was just picturing Alex Jones probably screaming at him on the other line, like, look, we're not some backwood outfit here, man. I mean, I pay you pretty good money, bro. You should have a jacket. I don't know why you show up to the scene right here, and now we look like, we look like amateurs here, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling that Alex is a demanding boss, too.
I'm telling you right now, we're out there looking fucking Bush League, bro, because you don't have a jacket. You wear a jacket and a nice watch.
Oh, man.
So you could tell he was sweating bullets, like, oh my God, I got a fucking jacket.
Right.
He's yelling at me. I thought I was doing. And I feel bad for old. Yeah, and like Roy said, I don't think Alex, he's entertaining. I don't think he's pleasant to work for.
No, I don't think he's a good boss.
No offense.
Yeah.
I still enjoy Alex Jones.
Of course.
I just think that it's, first of all, I don't think you probably get paid a whole lot. And I certainly don't think that, like, even from today, it's a good example. I'm pretty sure he's very like, look, man, we look fucking Bush League out there. You're not wearing a jacket. I mean, I pay you pretty good money, man. You're living out here in Austin, dude. You know, you get a lot of coverage. You get a lot of Twitter followers.
Yeah.
Because of InfoWars, man. You just get a jacket, dude.
I mean, it's funny, though, because if you're there first, who gives a shit? Like, you're getting the story, right?
Yeah, I think there's almost something kind of charming, let's say, about somebody who shows up sort of disheveled,
Right.
who doesn't look like they're ready. Like you get a good, who was a good? I'm trying to think of, you know who was good? I remember who was good on the scene? Ashley Banfield. Back in the day. She was one of the ones, she was there during 9/11. She was all covered in dust and shit, reporting what I remember Ashley Banfield. Ashley Banfield was a really good example of like an on the scene, and sometimes she would pop up on the scene heavily underdressed because some shit would go down. And that bitch, it did not matter if it was Ashley Banfield's shift. She was one of those women that was like, we're going there right now.
There was another one.
T-shirt and jeans, dog.
He used to be on CNN. He's not anymore. But he was, for me, when I was in South Florida, he was a local news guy, Rick Sanchez. And during Hurricane Andrew...
Rick Sanchez is famous.
Yeah.
He was on CNN.
Yeah, he was on
ended
CNN.
up on CNN,
Yeah,
but he was a Miami guy.
He was a local Miami
He
guy.
got a lot of DUIs, if I remember correctly.
And he killed somebody.
That's right.
I mean, not killed, but...
I think it was at a game or something.
Yeah.
I remember Rick Sanchez.
Anyway, Rick Sanchez, when he was doing the... I'm trying to see if I can find a picture, but he was doing the Hurricane Andrew thing. Like, by third day, he was out there with like a fucking 5 o'clock...
yeah, because it's... Look.
And he had his tie undone, and he was out on the street, you know? It doesn't look bad if you do it right.
You know who was the king of that? Do you know who was the king of that when it came to optics? Barack Obama.
Yes.
Barack Obama, you know, for a guy who kind of didn't do a great job as president, to say the least, he certainly always had good photo ops. Made it look like he had his fucking sleeves rolled up, man, and his tie was loose.
And he was getting
He's
shit
up
done.
for days, bro, on the phone. Like,
Right.
I get it, dude. But it works, because you look at it, you're like, look at this guy getting things done.
Yeah. But, I mean...
what do you want? Fucking Jim Cantori out there in the eyes of a tornado with a fucking tuxedo on, just like he's going to the Oscars? No, it looks retarded.
If
And it also doesn't show, I think it almost shows a certain disrespect.
Right.
If you show up to multiple package bombings and you're like, how's my time? Does my makeup look good? All right, let's talk to this bombing victim.
Yeah, like but seriously though, if you're in Austin, I wouldn't open any packages that UPS or FedEx or the USPS deliver, just to be safe. You know?
Honestly, we're miles away, and we got an official package today.
Yeah.
Something from Amazon, and I
Right.
brought it in, and I just kind of looked at it.
Yeah,
was
it
like,
scares
yeah.
you. I mean, that's the whole point. I mean,
You know, it just starts to make the whole point of, that's why this is terrorism. 'Cause everyone feels terrorized.
Yeah, it's kind of why what the Unabomber did was so scary, you know, because like it could literally be anyone. Because if you look at the numbers, he really didn't kill that many people.
What was great about the Unabomber was, well, not great. It's a fucking terrible phrasing. But what was particularly frightening about the Unabomber too is that it was so spread out over time. Like if this dude was mailing packages every day, you'd be like, all right, we're gonna screen the packages better. But he would always like wait a few years and people would be like back to normal, whatever, and then he would just bam, it would just happen again, and you'd be like, whoa, that's scary, dude.
I still think it's on Netflix. I watched out of all channels, it's not a documentary, by the way, it's an actual series, but out of all channels, it was a Discovery Channel. They did something called Manhunt Unabomber, where Paul Bettany plays Ted Kaczynski. He's really good. Like, I was blown away. By the way, they got Jane Lynch to play Janet Reno, which was also great. But the funny part is when you watch that, and I was watching it, it's like, obviously, I don't...
By the way, who else are you going to get to play Janet Reno?
Yeah, of course.
If we're being fair.
Will Ferrell.
But you probably can't afford him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Get Jane Lynch.
Yeah. Who, by the way, uses the same clothing line as AJ Benza. Paul Bettany was really good in it. But while you're watching it, what that series really kind of humanizes Ted Kaczynski a lot. Like, you know, there's a lot of conspiracy stuff about MK Ultra, but he legitimately was fucked with. Him and, I think, 12 other people in his school. And it was like MK Ultra level of, like, fucking with him.
And I certainly... Look, I'm on... No, we're not going to put the tinfoil hats on. We certainly don't want to get into a content strike.
No.
So we're not going to talk about... Like, I certainly don't think that we have evolved to the point where we've learned how to control people like robots and make them assassins.
Right.
That would be fucking... You know, kind of fucking Manchurian Candidate.
It's not the movie Conspiracy Theory.
Yeah.
You don't send Catcher in the Rye.
But you can't tell me that the government didn't do a lot of damage during a lot of experiments.
Oh, of course.
And maybe, you know, look, maybe he still would have been the Unabomber without those experiments. Mm-hmm. But they certainly didn't help.
Yeah. No, they did not help.
So it's just like, maybe, you know, that's not the kind of thing. It's also not the kind of thing that you do to a healthy, young, brilliant man like that. Why would you do that? That's somebody you would put in your fucking cancer curing program or your space program or something. Give him something healthy and happy to focus on, not twist them and bend them and make them fucking crazy and then, you know, wonder years later. Oh, then again, he was, you know, he was correct.
He's
correct.
Yeah, here's the
killing thing. Wasn't
no, that's
cool,
what I was going to say. I mean, I don't obviously can't agree with killing anybody. However, like, the guy made a lot of sense. The guy pretty much predicted what's going on now, if you really think about it.
All those crazy people, were fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
you know, like Charles Manson was brilliant. Maybe not intellectually brilliant. Maybe they weren't like 180 IQ, but perhaps emotionally or empathetically or just some sort of sociological insight that they were born with that perhaps made them crazy. I think when you really are able to realize everything and you're really able to examine mankind as a whole, if you were able to understand all of it, you'd probably go crazy and start mailing package bombs, you know?
He killed 3... Yeah, Ted Kaczynski killed 3 people, injured 23. But the weirdest part about, and the scariest part about it, is that the killing span was from 1978 to 1995. That's
what I mean. He was the Bruno Sammartino, dog.
Yeah.
He was just constantly fucking, you know, he wasn't like, all right, I'm going to do this every week or every day, but every few years, something happened. You're like, that was him again. So I remember when I was young when in the 90s, they were like, Unabomber, man. And you were like, what? Who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And they acted like it was a big deal.
Right.
And you didn't realize that he already had a few prior works.
Exactly.
Because you were so young. You're like, I didn't know he had earlier, you know.
He's back?
He was like the Aerosmith of terrorist killers. You know, kids were like, oh yeah, like with the Run DMC and stuff. And they're like, no, it was like Dream On. Like, it's been around for a long time, putting stuff out.
The way he did it was crazy, man. He lived out in a fucking cabin and he would drive all the way to San Francisco to put it in a mailbox there, so when they checked it, they couldn't trace it back to where it came from. It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, it was meticulous, man. It was very meticulous, and how they caught him was really weird too.
Yeah.
Which was another thing. I'm gonna go back to Owen Schroyer on the scene. He's the worst at speculating things. He's so terrible at it. Like he'll they're talking about the how the packages don't seem to have come from any delivery service, that the person seems to have dropped it off. And Owen Schroyer's like, this is particularly scary. And then
Right.
it's like, they have no way. There's literally no way they can possibly figure any of this stuff out or who did this. And I'm thinking, like, you fucking idiot. Entire teams did. They always figure it out.
Yeah.
Eventually somebody will go, oh, yeah, it was a blue fucking Chevy Corsica from the 80s.
Yeah.
Somebody will go, what? Only like 12 of them left. That somehow they'll find him. Owen, relax. Owen was acting like this is gonna just go on forever, and you're like, calm down, boy.
It's also 2018, man. There's cameras everywhere.
Yeah,
They'll probably
somebody-
just,
It's easy to find this
they
weirdo.
will find. I will say they'll find him in a couple days. I don't think this is going to be, like I said, a Ted Kaczynski situation.
No. This
I mean,
and
again-
it's all fucking Austin, and he's dropping the packages
Yeah,
off
he's
himself
hand
like he's
delivering it,
fucking
yeah.
Santa Claus.
You
Trust
should
me, somebody's gonna
literally
catch this guy.
Do like one train leaves from Austin and the other train leaves from Dallas. You do the math and see
Yeah.
how far.
Kaczynski was at least in a cabin reading a book and drinking some tea when the explosion was happening thousands of miles away. You know what I mean? This guy's driving around like fucking like Bomberman.
Apparently, apparently, Alex keeps saying that he thinks it's Antifa that's doing it.
You think?
I don't think it's Antifa. I mean, maybe. I don't know. There's no way to know, but I don't know, because Alex blames everything on Antifa. Every single fucking derailment that's happened, he's blamed on Antifa. Even though the reason it's been everything's been derailing is because fucking Amtrak is terrible, and the rail lines are ancient. But yeah, apparently he's been blaming. According to the chat, he's been blaming Antifa for it.
Oh, well, everybody wants... Dude, by the way, that chat room for InfoWars was cancerous. It was the worst place ever. Oh, it was really... by the way, I just sent breaking news to Royce that there's a sketch now of this suspect who's been running around throwing bombs everywhere.
Okay.
And I just want everybody out there in Austin to be advised. Keep an eye out for this gentleman. He's considered to be armed and dangerous. He's considered to be an expert at numerous weapons. And you really don't don't go after him yourselves. If you see him, just call the authorities and make sure you catch this guy.
You sure it's a guy? Kind of looks like a girl.
Could possibly be a girl. I don't know. Japanese people are weird, but I'm sorry it was such a tiny image. That
It's
sucks.
okay.
It's like it's trying to make it funny. It should have been bigger, but
Here, I got it. I got a better sketch for you.
That's the guy. See, red-handed.
Yep.
Fucking red-handed right there, folks. That is it. However, the FBI has released a sketch right now of the Austin bombing suspect.
However, his age ranges anywhere from 10 years old to 18. If you played Ocarina of Time, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Jesus Christ.
He also could look like this.
Yeah, and then he's like 8.
He is traveling around with a tiny ferry.
Oh, and then if you count like Kingdom Hearts, then forget it. Then you're talking about he could be anywhere from 7 to
You don't know.
to 25.
Yeah, there's so many sketches.
But anyway, just
if you
keep an
see
eye
him
out.
out there.
Do not approach him yourselves. I know a lot of Texans out there, very patriotic,
Yeah.
very alpha. But just call the authorities. Let the ATF or the FBI handle it and catch this guy because he's obviously a dangerous. He's danger to his community.
There's actually audio of somebody opening the package. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Should have just been the short version, but that's still fucking hilarious. Well, look, we're not trying to say that this is funny.
No, but we are gonna make jokes.
but I'm
'cause
going to
we are-
make it funny.
right. So if you see anybody that looks like that,
Yeah, and
please,
and if you see them, anybody who dressed like that at a Comic-Con, beat them up as well.
and do not call him Zelda. He gets really mad. He gets really mad.
There's a bomber here in Austin, Texas. God damn it, I asked him to do one thing. Just to not call me that.
So yeah, if anything new pops up, I'm sure we'll.
You know, now that I think of it, though, wouldn't that be a great way? Because, you know, dealing with all of these mass murderers, shooters, school shooters, and the like, they're all the same. They all have the same thing, right? People say don't name them.
Right.
Don't make them infamous. Don't make them famous. Instead of celebrating these people and giving them their own little, like, mass murderer Wikipedias, why don't we give them all horrendously mean, mocking nicknames?
That I like.
And that way, like, instead of Elliot Rodger, you just call him, you know, cuck boy with a beamer who couldn't get laid.
I like that.
And that's how we all remember these guys. And and you'll go, I don't want to be remembered as, you know what I mean, kid with no chin.
Yeah, they always give him cool names, like the Unabomber. Let's go back to Unabomber.
Yeah,
That's
Unabomber.
a cool name.
Or even honestly, like, if you go back and go like, you know, Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, you just sound like two edgelords that went out and killed people. And just call them like, you know, No Pussy Boy and Skinny Jew.
We were incorrect. Actually, there's a new sketch out.
The trench coat fags. That would have been great.
The
'Cause you'd be
trench
like,
coat
oh
fags.
man, I don't want to be remembered as the trench coat fags.
There is a new sketch out. He seems to be trying to bomb a coyote.
Oh no, is this seriously now?
This is him now. Yeah.
Wait, is this an accomplice? Because clearly we already had a sketch.
Well, we have two people.
So is this two people working
Right.
together here
That's
live in
correct.
Austin? Oh boy.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Guys, get the word out that we have some. This now could be a duo
Yes.
of terrorist bombers operating a cell out of Austin, Texas.
It has been confirmed that the bombs are Acme brand.
Oh,
Acme
no.
brand bombs. Yeah.
Well, luckily, then most of them probably won't work.
It's a good point. But yeah, I'm sure we'll.
Oh boy, I hope I just hope everybody's safe from these two people.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. No. Nobody needs that. I guess we could move on. Because if anything else pops up, we'll.
Yeah, obviously we will keep you posted. But
For those of you who don't know,
now you know.
Glenn Jacobs, Kane, from the WWE, is running for what is it, mayor?
Yeah, I believe mayor of whatever, he's some small town. I believe it's in Georgia somewhere. There's a lot of wrestlers in those southeastern
Right. I
states.
believe he's running as a libertarian, if I'm correct.
Sure, why not?
That's what I've heard.
No, I'm being a Libertarian
Yeah.
Party chairman. Yeah,
Perfect.
sure, why not? We'll run King.
So, well, I guess let's play the this attack ad.
Glenn Jacobs claims he wants to light the way to your future, but there's a darkness in his past he doesn't want you to know about. Glenn Jacobs talks about family values, but he once tried to bury his own brother alive. Glenn Jacobs claims to be tough on crime, but once kidnapped a woman in her place of work. Glenn Jacobs says you can trust him, but can you trust a man who's falsely impersonated another man? Glenn Jacobs supports healthcare, which is why he practiced dentistry without a license.
Oh no, that's right.
And just how does Glenn Jacobs feel about people with physical disabilities? Glenn Jacobs simply doesn't care enough about the people of Knox County. Cast your vote for Chris Killian, a mayor who won't light you on fire.
Okay, that was good.
I know, and it's all true. So how do you even?
No, it's
You
100%
can't
accurate.
even counter any of those
because
arguments.
they are all true.
Sure, Kane. Sure, Mr. Jacobs. You could retaliate and you could answer the charges and say, well, that was just in professional wrestling. But then the whole thing becomes a joke.
Bake said I met him once in a restaurant and that dude was ginormous. Yeah, he's a tall man.
He once tried to bury his own brother alive.
So,
Can't even dispute it. Fuck. I love wrestling. I know some of our fans
don't like it. I know.
And it is currently terrible. We can all agree
Yes.
there. But there's just, when America and wrestling belong together, and it's just, they have a beautiful symbiotic relationship.
They do. That's our opera. Kyle Kashif, the right wing. Kid.
Ooh.
You sent me this video.
Oh boy, I can.
Now, by the way, I just want to point out.
Disclaimer. Disclaimer.
Go ahead.
Well, you were gonna say something.
Well, what I was going to say was 14 hours ago, he tweeted somebody and said, "Hey, if you want to get on Fox News or CNBC, let me know. I can make it happen," or something to that effect.
Can we say this is folks? This is Mike Shealy speaking, and myself and my partner Royce Lopez, in no way encourage any sort of harassment,
No.
bullying,
No.
otherwise on or off the internet, of any victims of any tragedies at any schools. That being said, don't hit us with any content strikes. This is a show where we discuss things honestly.
Yes.
I'm going to say this right now. I don't like this kid. I don't like him, and I don't like him just like I didn't like David Hogg and Emma Gonzalez.
Here's why.
Because
it has nothing even to do with the message anymore. It has to do with you're giving kids camera time. They're going to act like kids on camera, which I get it. I do understand. I don't know what I would do if I was 17 and I was on the news. I'd probably be a fucking idiot, you know?
mark my words, this will be a new trend. The fucking tragedy celebs. Guaranteed.
He literally tweeted Ben Shapiro the other day.
Oh, this was the one that
And he said to the effect of, at Ben Shapiro, can you get Indochino, which I guess is a sponsor of Ben Shapiro, to send me a suit? I need one ASAP. JK, but I really do need one. So now he's out there, in my opinion, looking for for gifts and stuff. And this is the thing. I agree with what he's talking about, but again, it's the same thing. The same way we criticize the other one. This is what happens, man. This is why kids shouldn't be shaping policy debate, right or left. They shouldn't.
Everything I say, I'm going to say with a disclaimer on this video. My heart goes out to anyone who was affected by that tragic shooting in Florida. That being said, there are a select few kids that the media have embraced on both sides who are enjoying this far too much. And I wouldn't have a problem with it if it weren't for the fact that myself and Royce had a first-hand experience with somebody like this.
Yes.
Who was older, wasn't a teenager. It was a different tragedy. But let's say that there was a major tragedy that happened that was nationwide known. Mm-hmm. And this person has been milking it from the day it happened. I don't like this sort of thing. I don't like people who do this. To all of the children who were affected by this, who have laid low and went back to school, finish their education,
yes,
don't want to be bothered by the spotlight, God bless you kids. But it's these three kids that, honestly, I'm not going to stop criticizing things in the public sphere because I'm afraid. I'm going to tell you, I do not like those three kids. I'm allowed, out of an entire high school, that's not bad. If you filled a high school building with any group of people, for me to only not like three people in that building is miraculous. So stop calling it harassment. Stop calling it targeted bullying. These people are now in the public eye. They have a blue check mark next to their name. They are fair game. That being said, I don't like them. Do we not?
No, I agree. It's when I saw him out there, vibing for free suits and free stuff on Twitter, I'm like, what are you doing?
And don't you fucking MAGA boomers be, but these are guys fighting for the Second Amendment. Anyone who is what I'm going to call a tragedy celebrity, which is, watch, it's going to be a new thing, the tragedy celeb. Every time one of these things happens, there's going to be a few people that look good on the camera, that embrace it and ride the fucking tiger. And you might as well. I mean, it's the American way, right? You got a moment, you got your 15 minutes, you cash in. I get it. But you guys are like the cash me outside girl. Mm. But you're trying to do this political thing and repeal fucking constitutional amendments that have been around for hundreds of years. And then dude, how mad were we this weekend?
He wrote, "This is what discourse." Here, let me see. Pull this up.
And it's not just, look, it started, we caught our content strike. We took our licks over David Hogg and Emma Gonzalez. They were obnoxious, and they held different opinions than us. This kid, we agree with him.
We do agree with him.
So we're going to be fair and objective on this program. What we don't like is fucking tragedy celebs.
Look at this action picture.
Does anyone know any of the fucking dead kids' names? Name fucking one of them. One fucking dead kid. Name one.
No.
But I know this kid because he's on Twitter every 8 seconds begging for suits. Oh, these fucks.
Yeah, he really did. So I need a suit ASAP. I mean, dude. I'm going through his Twitter and what it looks like.
Are these not the most Florida kids ever? Though, if we're being fair.
Oh, yeah, they are.
If we're being fair.
They are.
These kids are like are as Florida as oranges and cocaine.
Yes.
They are Florida. If you were going to make a musical about kids in Florida, it would be about these fucking little shits. God, I hate Floridians.
It's.
If you have kids here, they will grow up to be monsters.
Yeah.
Don't raise kids in New York, California, or Florida.
Massacre at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, reigniting the national debate on gun control. And as the media focused on the controversy, one survivor says that he was shocked when he heard this from some of his classmates.
I hung up on the White House the other day. They actually called me the day before the listening session and asked if we were going to come. President Trump, we don't need to listen to President Trump. President Trump needs to listen to the screams of the children and the screams of this nation.
They're all of them. Stop telling me I can't criticize that. If he could go out there and criticize people, why are we not allowed to criticize back? Tell me, explain to me in detail why he could go on Bill Maher and he could, talking to David Hogg now, he can go on Bill Maher, he could rip people, he could say, I hung up on the White House, blah, blah, blah. And then if you in any way try to counter him or criticize him, you're the asshole.
And he needs to see the blood smeared on the walls and the screams of the children. He's out there cutting a fucking WWE promo.
I know.
Don't tell me this kid doesn't have writers. Don't fucking tell me this kid doesn't have people tweet. Not writers. Maybe he's got his own thing, but somebody's polishing it for him. Somebody's punching it up.
Right.
On both sides. Again, this has nothing to do. You get the fucking SPLC and the ADL out of it. Get CNN the fuck out of it. Fox News out of it. All that shit aside, I'm talking about 3 individuals. 2 on the left and 1 on the right wing, and all of them just, their behavior has been atrocious. I have not heard them once say, let's take a second and remember the actual kids.
Correct.
That died. I want to say, I had a friend and his name was such and such, and he went to that school and he lost his life. Can we just take a moment to remember him real quick before I ask for a fucking free suit from Ben Shapiro? Go look through these kids. Go look through their fucking... I understand, because they could say, I was on the news. I was on CNN. I did talk about my friends who died. But they edited it. They cut it up so they only used the sound bites. Fine, I get it. But look at these kids' fucking Twitter accounts. You tell me if one time in the entire timeline, in their whole life of having a blue check mark, if they've one time mentioned by name any of the children who died in this tragedy. Go back and look. See if there's been one time that these 3 kids have not asked for money or tweeted the link to a GoFundMe for one of the individual families who were affected who had a kid who died in that school. Find it. Find that tweet. I fucking dare you.
We don't respect people just because we have to. We don't respect you just because you have senator in front of your name.
And we don't have to respect
Johnny,
you just because you were in a tragedy. See how that works? You don't have to respect someone because you have senator in their name, and I don't have to respect you because you're 17 and you went through something horrible. See, respect is earned both ways. It's not a one-way street. You can't sit here and say, we don't have to respect you, but the media, the SPLC, whoever's monitoring YouTube, you can't talk about it. It is wrong. And even if you're calling out facts, none of this is bullying, none of this is harassment. This is 100% criticizing people who are taking advantage of something horrendous that happened.
This morning is Kyle Kashuv. He joins us with his message about
He looks
reaching
like he's
across
been.
the aisle.
Can I just say something? This kid looks like he's been eating Percocets for fucking 5 days straight and not sleeping. He looks like me when I was DJing titty bars. Like, nigga, get some sun. You live in Florida.
To find a real solution. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
You know, you had a very busy day yesterday. You were in Washington, D.C.
All right, Kyle, a couple things. When you ask for a free suit, make sure that it's one that's tailored to you. You're wearing your dad's suit.
Well, this was before the tweet. He probably saw the video.
Secondly,
and he was like, yeah.
When you're wearing dress shoes, you don't wear ankle socks.
Yeah, also checkered shirts, they clash with the camera. You never wear those.
You don't do that, not on TV.
No, never checkers.
See, you got to meet with lots of senators, congressmen, and the president himself and the first lady.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about that.
Oh, that was amazing. We started off the day trying to talk to every senator individually.
This is the guy we know. I'm not going to say his name.
At the end of the day, we were to
This
talk
is
to
him.
POTUS, and it was a surprise that I got to meet POTUS.
Mm-hmm. So what was that like?
It was quite amazing. I talked to Melania Trump, Mrs. Trump, for so long. She was so maternal and loving and caring, and then she brought me
They
over.
both
to the
have
Oval
writers
Office.
on both sides.
Is this not the guy we know?
Yes. But I'm going back to what you said before. They both definitely have
The
writers
coverage of it on Twitter.
on both sides.
Of course. This is now a fucking play.
Yeah.
And we're not allowed to criticize the actors in the play.
No.
Some of the things that they were saying about your visit was it was remarkable to them that you were actually trying to reach across the aisle to both sides and try to come up with a solution, which
Yes,
is what we
ma'am.
need.
That is exactly what we need. I talked to Chris Murphy, Senator Murphy, specifically on this topic, and we managed to find a middle ground between the right and the left. And even though I disagree
Breathe, dude.
No, kiddo.
Breathe.
It's all right. Don't worry.
with some of his viewpoints, I do respect him.
Honestly,
and I do
kid,
think-
it's your 15 minutes of fame. We're going to forget about you next year. So breathe. Savor it.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Yeah, man. Drink it in. Stop panicking.
that being moderate and finding a middle ground is the only way to achieve a change.
And what is that middle ground? What were you able to come up with? I know you also spoke with Marco Rubio yesterday, Orrin Hatch as well.
Can I make another
Sure.
honest criticism, right? Because I think we've established that there has been attempts from both sides of the aisle to propagandize this horrible tragedy. You know, David Hogg and Emma Gonzalez, camera loves them kids. Was this the best one we could come up with? Was this like we couldn't find some, what happened
Where's
to Colton
Colton
Hobb?
Hobb?
Where's Colton Hobb? That kid. Camera liked that kid. You know what I mean? He had like a fucking young, you know, and he was like, "Yeah, I was the fucking hero guy." And he's what happened to that guy? You know, he got his fucking. Didn't you say his Twitter got suspended?
I believe so.
Yeah, we lost Colton Hobb. I tried to reach out to him, never heard back.
Let's see. Not looks like his Twitter's still up for right now. I thought it was taken down, but I guess it's back up.
No, I don't see anything. Shit's gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as far as I can tell.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, this motherfucker's gone. So I don't know what happened. But you know what? Maybe it's just because he's like, you know what? These motherfuckers are gross. Maybe he just, you know, maybe the hero that we need rode off into the fucking sunset because he decided that, you know,
right,
the whole thing is just too gross.
Across the board right now, what we see is the STOP Act proposed by Senator Hatch and Marco Rubio. I really think it's going to come into law very soon because it has bipartisan support and it's solving an immediate issue.
Mm-hmm. Take me back, if you can, to the day that this happened.
It's guys.
Both
enough.
sides. Both of you.
Stop.
This isn't a left-right wing thing anymore.
No.
I mean, the lefties did sort of jump on it like a little more like, "Argh,"
Yeah, of course.
quickly. So we went after them. But this kid too, man, this kid, we didn't mind him. When he first came out, we're like, all right, he's speaking out, but he's not going nuts with
When
it.
he first came out, before he was verified, we were fighting and saying, why isn't he verified? Because he wasn't doing this. He wasn't acting like this until he got verified, until he started popping up on shows, and then all of a sudden it came out. And listen, that's the other, someone was pointing out in the chat, don't wear the top button if you're not going to wear a tie. You don't button the top button if you're not going to wear a tie.
Yeah, you got it's one or the other.
One or the other. Pick. And wear a tie if you're going to be on Fox News.
It's Fox News.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna
And
be-
you're meeting senators without a tie, too.
I just look, man. You can't. You're going to see this more and more now because they figured out they can market these things. Tragedy celebs are going to be the new thing.
Oh, Dave Goss says he's not wearing socks. He is, but he's wearing ankle socks.
I'm sure he's wearing socks. He's not fucking Dominican.
Yeah.
He's just from Florida.
Yeah. He's wearing ankle socks, and he's not wearing boat shoes that you would not wear socks with.
He's wearing Crocs underneath because he couldn't bring his own dress shoes. Come on, man, get a grip.
So anyway, I mean that's the.
I don't like any of this. This whole like, yeah, let's ride the wave. Like if I was involved in, like I'm not gonna lie. Like if me and Royce or one of us separately went to like a movie theater or went out somewhere or a mall and it started getting shot up, ever the opportunistic fucks that we are, we would probably start live streaming it immediately. Not saying that we're not, terrible people, but we're terrible adults. I feel like as a kid, if you went through as badly a trauma as you say you had, you wouldn't want to be on TV. And it seems like the kids that experience the trauma are all laying low, trying to get over that trauma. Whereas the kids who seem to have been sort of on the peripheral of the trauma are just milking the trauma now for fame. And trust me, man, this is going to be a new thing, man. School shooting celebs. Because I still can't name a single dead kid, and that's partly on me, but, they usually, remember they used to make it easier? Remember the Columbine kids? Like, they had the fucking dead kids all over that TV.
Yes, that is true. You know who does run ads on YouTube? Scientology.
Oh, great.
So they run their ads and their little...
What is happening to this platform?
It's weird, man. It's odd. What happens is they're trying to turn it into something they were never meant to be. YouTube was meant to be people putting up their videos, and then they make some money off of it, running some ads. It should be really simple. And if you don't like it, you don't watch it. That's it. It's very simple. They've now tried to turn into a... By the way, they don't make money for Google, but they lose money. They have just turned into some sort of de facto corporate moral compass for the country, where they get to decide what information is put out there. They have, literal army of people that are out there monitoring videos, but Scientology is fine.
But this is money too that they're getting paid. So
of
they're
course.
the arbiters of morality, but the morals are based on who has more money and influence.
Right. Fox News. Allegedly missing Scientology queen, the subject of new Vanity Fair documentary. Vanity Fair is hoping to shed light on what may have happened to the First Lady of Scientology, Shelley Miscavige. The wife of church Scientology leader David Miscavige is subject of the new documentary Monday titled Vanity Fair Confidential, Scientology's Vanished Queen. Watch the HBO documentary. What was it called?
Fuck.
Going Clear?
Going Clear. Yeah, the Scientology one, the HBO one.
Yeah, that one's really well done.
One.
And actually, even though I don't like Leah Remini and her nails, she did do a series about being into that was pretty good too.
I mean, here's the thing. I find Leah Remini annoying, and a little bit pompous.
Leah Remini sounds like someone that would have been your neighbor.
I don't know. Yeah, but she's something still hot about her, man.
She was Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, she just like she's one of those like fucking New York girls. Like it's just I don't know. I always wanted to bang her, but yeah, she's a pain in the ass. That being said, I don't feel like she's been lying.
No, she hasn't. I haven't said she's been lying. That's why I said it was good.
No, and that's what you're saying. Like we certainly don't think she's not telling the truth. I have made, this Miscavige thing has been going on since we were making jokes about the wife of David Miscavige when we did our old podcast, and that was fucking years ago. This woman's been missing. They just supposedly shipped her off somewhere. A lot of people believe she might be dead.
Well, they said that, but then they also said, at least in the other documentary, the Leigh Remini one, because she sued for it, and they said that police did talk to her, but just that's what they say. Police investigated and they spoke to her and say she's fine. Now, if it's true, I don't know. The show, which is part of Vanity Fair Confidential series, says based on the March 2014 expose by Magazine questioning what happened to Shelley, who allegedly disappeared in 2007. The series takes viewers deep inside Vanity Fair's vaults for a closer look at some of the esteemed publication's most shocking stories, featuring exclusive interviews with those closest to the case, including insight from the Vanity Fair writers and editors who worked on the original article. Yeah, man, Scientology is one of those just creepy, organizations. They have these bunkers out there that they stick you. The Sea Org, dude. The Sea Org is basically a slave ship.
Yeah, the Sea Org is very scary, and there was a lot of speculation for quite a while that that's where they shipped the wife off to.
Yep,
to the Sea Org, because it's like their shady boat that they take to like those weird countries like Morocco where nobody gives a fuck. You know what I mean? Pay off a few people there. Yeah, the whole thing is really scary. They're you know. Remember when they were like funny in the 90s and the 2000s? You could kind of goof on them, but then now it's just
remember the South Park episode, Trapped in the Closet?
Yeah, they're not a fucking joke anymore. Like, they're really scary, dude.
And they're tax exempt.
And they spend a lot of money on like discrediting people and ruining people's lives.
Absolutely.
Like, it's fucking bananas.
One more thing before we go to break, because I know we have a guest. There's a new, and this isn't political, but I needed to play this.
Before you hit play, Tommy Wiseau has hair like a fucking wig that you'd buy at a cheap party shop.
Well, I think it's a wig.
Is it really?
I don't know. I mean, everyone says it's a wig.
Wouldn't he get?
I don't know.
A better.
By the way, if you get a chance, watch Disaster Artist. It's a really good movie. But there's a Tommy Wiseau's Joker audition, and I think it's better.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
I think it's better.
For which movie?
Well, he does. You'll see. He does a spattering of.
Oh boy.
This is Tommy Wiseau, creator of the room. Let me introduce you to the new Joker. Ah! Ah!
Yeah, we rolling?
Tommy Joker take 2 kilo.
What doesn't kill you make you stranger.
Okay.
Ah! Joker.
Okay. Okay, look. Look, man. I would pay to see it.
Oh my god! Of course, I'd pay to see it.
I'm already like, who else? Who's a good Batman for that? Because you need somebody who's not that comedic. Because it's still Batman. You need like a Dean Cain.
No, Dean Cain's been Superman, so he can't be Batman.
Oh, you can't do both?
No, he can't do both. But you could do somebody like a Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, but he's out of the game now.
That's why you use him.
He doesn't want to. He's
a chef.
The game broke him.
Yeah, that's true.
What if
the guy who played Mark in The Room plays Batman?
What if we get Brendan Fraser back in shape?
You sold me. Enough.
Back in the game.
There it is. Brendan Fraser, Tommy Wiseau. But don't worry, he does different takes on Joker. So let's go through all few.
I just love the little Joker.
It's simple. We killed the Batman. Have you ever danced with a devil in the pale moonlight? Did you? No, but I did. And I did like a devil. I am not the monster. No, I'm just the head of the curve. Yes, come to me. Come on. I'm not the monster. No.
What is happening?
He's nailing it. He's knocking it out of the fucking park, bro.
No, I have to honestly ask, has he ever seen any of these movies?
Yeah, probably all of them.
Like, because he's not even imitating those movies. Like, those...
He's not. He's doing the Tommy Wiseau take on Joker.
Wow.
Why? So serious? Why so serious? Why so serious? Let's put a smile on this face. Why so serious? Jingle bell, Batman smell.
Action.
Bang. I need him. Where is he? Where is the Batman? Where?
It's also, here's what I love too, is that they couldn't even decide which Batman he was, right?
He's all of them.
So they gave him the Heath Ledger, like the hair with the makeup.
But he's doing Nicholas lines.
But he's got Jack Nicholson's jacket. Yeah. Like the jacket is more of the goofy.
It's an homage. It's an homage.
It's a.
Okay, like stand right here.
It's an homage.
Like this? You're not the Batman. Get out. I need Batman. Where is he?
Oh, I was fucking joking. That is Mark from The Room.
Oh, my God.
I was kidding. I swear to God, I had to see this video all the way through. That's fucking...
By the way, he does not like Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, you read the book?
And it shows here too.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, I'd find him here, take my $5,000.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. I need you. Why should I kill you? Why? Why should I kill you? I don't want to kill you because you complete me. Yes, I need you. You'll be in a pencil forever. Maybe we can share one. Madness. It's like gravity. You need just a little push, and you can do it. I'm a joker, and jog is on you! Yeah! Hey, this is Tommy.
Okay.
Why?
Because he's a karate vampire from another planet. Mike, what else? What do you think?
How much do you think they paid these two idiots?
Who knows? Just, I don't know. But you know what? It was worth every penny, in my opinion.
He couldn't. Again, they couldn't decide which Batman it was going to be.
It's all the Batman.
And it was just all the Joker. All Jokers. It was weird.
Yeah. Trolita says Tommy should have been cast as that trans vampire weirdo in the Corey Feldman thing. He would have been a better trans vampire.
He was kind of doing a trans vampire here.
All right. We got to go to break. We got a show.
Yes. Thanks to vapes.com, as always, for helping me to get off the smokes. What else? If you want to donate to this fine program and help it grow, help it expand, help it succeed, go to Revenge of the Cis. That's revengeofthecis.com/donate. And you'll find a plethora of ways you can help the program. And, of course, what else? What else we got? Like, subscribe, share.
Yes,
all
do that.
Good stuff.
All that stuff.
5 stars on Facebook, iTunes. And we will be back second hour with congressional candidate Edwin Duterte.
Now.
Revenge of the Cis.
Now.
Revenge of the Cis.
If you just put in the code Alex10, and of course, that'll be 10% off from our very already low price of $250 for every 4 capsules. Hey folks, this is Jay Leno, the star of the hit film Collision Course, and I'd like to take a moment out there and talk to you about the very real dangers posed by Zionism in this country.
I was riding around on my motorcycle out there in the Arizona desert when I was kidnapped by a UFO and sexually assaulted by aliens.
Show me how you suck a guy's cock. The last time I'm gonna ask you.
From all of us here at Revenge of the Cis, we'd like to thank each and every one of our friends and fans for helping us become one of the fastest growing breakout shows on the internet. In less than 1 year, we have been able to bring you news before it breaks, as well as the funniest and most consistent political and social commentary around. Here are some ways you can help us continue to grow our brand. Sign up as a contributor by going to patreon.com/We're Not Sorry and pledging a monthly amount. Anyone who pledges $12 or more is eligible for occasional giveaways and prizes. And if you pledge $25 or more, we will promote your brand or product live on our show. We understand if you are unable to commit to a monthly recurring donation, but if you would like to contribute one time, you can do so by going to paypal.me/We're Not Sorry. Another unique way to help our show expand while also promoting your own brand or service is by modeling one of our shirts. Go to teespring.com, search for Revenge of the Cis, and you'll find plenty of options to choose from. Take a picture of you modeling our shirt and email it to revengeofthecis@gmail.com. That is revengeofthecis@gmail.com. Be sure to include a web address or a social media account for whatever you want us to promote, and we will feature you on an episode of our show. Since YouTube is now throttling our traffic and Twitter has us shadow banned, there are many other ways you can help without giving us a dime. Every time you invite a friend to like our Facebook page, retweet or share a meme from our social media accounts, or share one of our videos to your own pages, you are helping us to get discovered by more like-minded individuals who will join our ranks and help us grow. Rate us 5 stars on Facebook, Roku, and iTunes. Encourage others to follow @ROTC Media on Twitter. You can also help ROTC by supporting friends of our show, such as LA Werewolf, Connecting Right Radio, Radical Mothering, Folklore Americana, the Mad American Network, Wolfman's Activism and Entertainment, and the Revolutionary Conservative. Find all of these links and more by going to our brand new website, revengeofthesis.com.
In a world where our very way of life seems to be under attack from all sides, and our freedoms are slowly being ripped away, Guns for Tards is fighting the good fight to help protect America from its enemies by advocating Second Amendment rights for our nation's most vulnerable and often overlooked citizens, the mentally challenged. Our founding fathers believed that a well-armed, trained, and educated citizenry was the key to a free and prosperous society. But Meatloaf also said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We believe that Tards are our second-to-last line of defense against ISIS, and we at Guns for Tards aim to provide the means and the programs to give proper training and resources to Tards in your area, helping to make the country a safer place. There are over 40 million mentally challenged Americans living today, and by 2020, we plan to arm at least 10% of them. We want to get as many guns in the hands of as many Tards as we can. But we won't be able to do it without your help. So please, pledge your help today. Arm a Tard. It's not that hard. Go to www.gunsfortards.com for more information, or follow us on Facebook or Twitter by searching for Guns for Tards.
Gunsfortards.com. Gunsfortards.com. Extra rounds for folks with downs, helping to protect your town. Gunsfortards.com.
Have an opinion you're too afraid to say on Facebook because you might get doxxed? Want CNN to stop knocking out your door asking for your opinion? Call the We're Not Sorry hotline, 407-630-9636. No threats. We will play it on the air. And you know what? Let's keep the racial undertones PG-13? That's 407-630-9636.
Orlando, Florida, a city known for its theme parks and resorts. But peace is threatened as a wave of crime has turned this once beautiful vacation destination into a haven for gangs, thugs, and terrorists.
I need backup! Halt nightclub! Shots fired! Shots fired!
When an LGBT hotspot is shot up and dozens are killed, 2 detectives may be this city's only hope to unravel a conspiracy of corruption that goes all the way to the nation's most powerful elite.
This is Grizzly.
Hey Lopez, look, it's called Pulse Nightclub. Hey, I bet
Don't. Seriously, dude, just don't. Not now.
When the city finds itself gripped with fear and under attack, Mersh and Lopez keep a cool head as they attempt to unravel the mystery.
I believe these men were targeted simply because they were homosexual. This is a hate crime.
Gross.
It is gross, partner. Targeting people out of hate like that?
No, I meant the gay stuff. It's pretty gross.
These 2 no-nonsense cops are about to find themselves dragged into a world of political intrigue and international terrorism, and they may be the only hope to save the world.
I got a morgue full of dead bodies with neon mesh tank tops, a dead suspect, and no motive. The mayor is on my ass.
There's more to this case than we're seeing, LT. I think it's terrorism.
I agree with Lopez, Chief. It's definitely terrorism. We're dealing with a bigger fish here.
As they uncover clues with their incomparable police cop work, Mersh and Lopez get closer to the real masterminds.
Seems like Mateen's phone had some kind of encryption software. It bricked itself.
Damn. So we're screwed, huh?
Well, I managed to get one file off the phone. GPS coordinates that lead to Washington, D.C.
Comet Ping Pong Pizza. Never heard of it.
Feel like grabbing a slice, partner?
Yeah, a slice
of justice, of justice. Yeah, I know, you say it every time.
Yeah, it's kind of my thing.
Yeah, cool. Can leaving now be our thing? Because it's a long drive to D.C.
Coming up next week, Orlando's best detectives are still trying to get to the truth behind the deadliest attack in their city's history. Mersh and Lopez follow a lead that takes them all the way to the nation's capital. But will their case be derailed as they discover a child sex trafficking ring inside of a pizza place? Find out next week on an all-new Revenge of the Sis, Mondays at 4, followed by an all-new Nazi lawyer, only on USA Network. USA, what are you gonna do, watch TBS?
Simpson scandal update. Homer sleeps nude in an oxygen tent, which he believes gives him sexual powers.
Hey, that's a half-truth.
I don't know Homer Simpson. I never met Homer Simpson or had any contact with him, but I'm sorry, I can't go on.
That's okay. Your tears say more than real evidence ever could.
And now we return to Fox Night at the Movies, Homer-esque Portrait of an Ass Grabber, starring Dennis Franz.
Ooh, portrait. Sounds classy. Doesn't it?
No, Mr. Simpson, a cat is a living creature.
I don't care. Now I'm gonna grab me something sweet.
No, Mr. Simpson, that's sexual harassment. If you keep it up, I'll yell so loud the whole country will hear.
With the man in the White House? Not likely.
Second hour, Revenge of the Sis. Thanks for joining us. RevengeoftheSis.com/donate is how you help us, because YouTube sure as fuck isn't. We have a guest. Mike, if you want to set him up, I will happily get him on.
Absolutely. We do have a guest. He is a Republican candidate for congressman fighting for Maxine Waters' 43rd district seat in California. He's also up against a couple other people who we've discussed on this show a couple times before. And I believe he's also a friend of our friend, R.C. Maxwell. We are joined by Edwin Duterte. How are you today?
Oh, good. Hope my sound's okay.
You sound good to us.
Sound good. How are you, man?
Good. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good so far. I mean, besides the Austin thing that just happened, doing all right.
Oh, what happened in Austin? I've been out. Was it the
bombings?
The bomb?
Yeah.
There was two now today.
Yeah.
So so it's not a pretty situation out there. But yeah, so you're a friend of our friend R.C. Maxwell. I know that he has been probably the most outspoken person I've seen talking about you and your candidacy. So tell us a little bit about why you're running and when you started running.
Yeah, well, I started running. I had the idea to start running in August, and I made a decision after someone said, there's a lot of things that you can do in the community. Why don't you put some of your ideas into place? And those ideas are, we need to find ways to get our district and our state working again. We have high poverty, especially in the CD 43 district. In the CD 43 district, we have 17.9% poverty rate when there shouldn't be, because we have companies like SpaceX, we have Aerospace Corporation, we have Google, we have we have TMZ, we have Hollywood. So there's no reason why we should have this high of poverty in our country as well as in our district. So that's what I want to do. As I want to bring back jobs, and I want to bring back jobs that actually make sense and have innovation and can make a difference in people's lives. I want to concentrate on the STEAM industries, the science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, because that's what we need to be competitive. We don't make anything in this country anymore, so I think we need to have things that are that can make six-figure jobs, and the lower middle class just doesn't have that access, and that's why I'm running. And I think we can make a big difference.
Now, I've seen that there's been a mass exodus of people moving out of California. I just read an article about that the other day.
Right.
Do you think it's related to the recent study that California has the lowest quality of life?
Yeah, well, we have, even though there are some people that are, have the highest, highest income. And sorry if my cat's
No,
falling.
it's okay. It's no
Oh,
problem.
but yeah, we have three, and so no, some people have, make great money. The real estate is really high.
Right.
But the cost of living is so great. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I have to move.
No, this is great. You got to endear.
I'm being invaded by the cat. So
You got to endear yourself to your constituents.
Yeah, if you have cats, that's awesome.
Edwin Duterte clearly a man
loves
who
animals.
loves animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have three animals, and at one point we had we had up to six, and they were our rescue. But some of them just didn't live. They lived a great life, but old age.
So, question: how would you combat the issues in your district? Like you were saying, they have such a high poverty rate. I'm going to assume probably a higher than average unemployment rate. Yet you have all these companies headquartered there. Because as far as let's say like forcing companies to hire locally, I've seen that done in New York to disastrous results. So are there other? How do you plan on? Are you trying to maybe more encourage like small business ownership? Things of that nature.
That's a combination. I think that with the right environment, with the right legislative environment, we can fix a lot of things. For instance, we have SpaceX, we have Google. If they invested into our school systems, whether that's K through 9 or K through 12 or junior college or trade school, if they offer up either monetary funds or expertise, we can offer them, other tax incentives, other bennies that currently aren't there. So we just have to be a little bit more creative and get them to front load, because if they front load the education, we already know that they'll provide the expertise that they want in their companies to provide innovation. And if they're successful, they'll have a stronger workforce. If they have tax advantages, whether that's tax credits or some kind of tax abatement, or even regulatory relief, that'll help them out. So I think that could give enough incentive. Aside from that, they're spending a ton of money in training and education once they get people in their jobs. So if we could create an environment where they go out into the trade schools, out into the junior colleges, and make that an investment, it'll be better for everybody. And I think the bar will be set a little higher. Something very similar to what how Silicon Valley grew. Silicon Valley grew because the municipalities worked with the venture capitalists, and the venture capitalists worked with the entrepreneurs, and the entrepreneurs worked with the educational system, like Stanford, like San Jose State, like Santa Clara University, and that created a whole bunch of innovation. And because of that, a lot of people's wages rose, and you don't have to have an artificial rising of wages through minimum wage, because we all know that minimum wage gives minimum standards, and we need to be more competitive, and having those minimum standards that the liberals are pushing, just hurts us more than it does help us.
So you're up against a couple other people, right? You got Omar Navarro, who's kind of a knob. He's kind of a knob. We've talked about him on this show. Right. He's got his issues. He does seem to have some cash money behind him, though.
Well, he touts. He goes everywhere he goes. He brags about how much he raised. I raised $250,000, such and such. But what he doesn't say is how much he spends. He's in his last FTC filing, he said he raised $150,000, but he only had $25,000 cash. So what's that saying to me is that he spends 90% of his money. So if you look at how he uses his donor money, and you consider that, what if that was taxpayer money? Then he's the type of guy that would want to tax you 90% and spend 100% of that. So we have to look at Omar, where he isn't what he assumes. He raises a lot of money, but he's a bigger spender than any liberal I know.
Right. Now, you guys, whoever does get the nomination has to go up against Maxine Waters, correct?
Right. Correct.
What are your thoughts on old Maxine Waters?
Well, yeah, I go in the community every day. Right now I should be walking and knocking on doors, but I I think Maxine Waters is very vulnerable. The the black community that she's desperately needs the support of, they are very upset with her. I've talked to organizations like Resilience, like Community Reflections, and they're tired of her promising. Yet these guys don't have the opportunity in the companies that they want to work with. They look at at some of these companies and SpaceX. I'll go back to SpaceX. They had that big rocket in front of their building. So when people like like the normal worker walk past there, they say, why can't we work at a place like that? So already the black community knows that Maxine Waters has failed them in terms of getting them into higher paying jobs and higher skills. Our district is about 46% Latino, and in that Latino space, because Filipinos have the same last names as same Spanish last names, we get kind of dumped in there. So the Filipino representation is probably about 15 to 20%. So Filipinos, getting back to the Latinos, and I'll talk about Filipinos in a second, but Latinos, they're disillusioned about Maxine as well. So they need somebody. They just needed somebody to vote for. Now with Filipinos, I will be the first Filipino American born in the United States to get into Congress once I beat Maxine. And Filipinos are very proud of that. The majority of Filipino Americans, although they're Democrat, they will vote pride over party. So tribe over party. So I'll get a big chunk of that. And the Asian community represents 12 to 15% of the voting base, and actually they have a turnout of about 40 to 50%. So whereas the Latino and blacks, they only have about a 10 to 15% turnout. So even though the absolute numbers of Asians and Filipinos are less, they have a higher turnout ratio. So the fact that if we use identity politics, I can relate to the Asians, I relate to the Hispanics, and I relate to the Filipinos, and for the most part, I relate to a lot of the African Americans because I understand where they come from, how they're living, and so forth. So I think it could be very competitive as long as we don't see the corruption and the cheating in voting. I think I'll do very well.
Now I got a question, right? You got some family ties, right? From what I heard, R.C. Maxwell told me.
I think there's many of my family members that you may have heard of. One of them is the president of the Philippines, and I haven't met the president just yet. How we're related is I think it's either my great-grandparents or my great-great-grandparents. They are brothers with President Duterte's grandparents.
Okay.
So there's a bloodline. But as of yet, I haven't met him. We were supposed to meet President Duterte and President Trump at the ASEAN summit in Manila in November, but things got all messed up, and they wanted to know how our bloodline, how close a bloodline. So I had to fly to Cebu and look at the family records and find my family tree, and then we had we went to the cemetery, and we went to people's houses to find out where the records were. And the records in the Philippines are a little kind of messy because World War II destroyed a lot of records that were kept in the churches. So there was a little ways to find the information.
So I'm assuming you voted for Trump. Am I correct in that assumption?
I voted for Trump. And and because I live in LA, I got a big blowback from that. And so the good thing is, as hard as I tried to convince my friends to vote for Trump, and they voted. A lot of them voted for Gary Johnson, which was cool too, as long as it wasn't Hillary. I was a never. So so my friends that voted for Hillary, we don't hang out. My friends voted for Trump. We hang out all the time. And the Gary Johnson guys, we have coffee every now and then.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to put it. How would you grade Trump's performance so far?
I really like his economic policy. There's a lot of things that the tax reform was awesome. It's given back more of our money back to us and less to the government. I like that. I think that in addition to the tax reform, we need Congress needs to create better legislation to make sure that more entrepreneurship can happen, more small business can happen as well. So I love what he's doing so far with the economy. I think it could be better with the right people in place in Congress that understands business, that can make the better deals, not only with small business, but make entrepreneurship stronger, as well as make incentives for companies to invest in the community, whether that's the educational system or through trade schools or some other entrepreneurial innovative ways.
Now, I'm a big Trump guy. He's been my guy. I was one of those guys that's very early and got very good seating on the Trump train.
Awesome.
But
and I was one of those Gary Johnson guys.
You were one of those Gary Johnson guys. But I love me some Trump.
But now I'm 2020. I'm all Trump now.
But
I agree with you.
That being said, as far as do you feel like he's done anything incorrectly so far? Do you have any criticisms? Because I mean, I'm happy with him, but a couple of people around here aren't happy about tariffs and things of that nature.
Yeah. You can't. It's hard to agree with somebody 100% of the time. My significant other, I don't agree with her 100% of the time, but I love her just the same. So it's when someone says they're 100% for somebody, there's going to be some disappointments there here and there. So. I'm torn on the tariffs. I like the fact that our steel is going to be brought back. That he's kept his promise. To the steel. To the steel states. So I like that. We need to bring back manufacturing to America, and that's one great way. So there could be other ways. I love even though my friends and and some of my neighbors don't like how President Trump tweets. I like it. It's to me it makes politics more entertaining. It doesn't make it as boring as as a lot of politicians do things. And and yesterday I liked how President Trump, or a few days ago, I liked how he kind of mocked how politicians endorse people. That really cracked me up. So yeah, I enjoy Trump as our president. I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I like, for example, the tax stuff. I thought was great. I'm the one that has the big problem with the tariff situation. I think it's short-sighted.
Right.
I think for that every one person that produces steel, 6 people use it, and at the end of the day, cars, beer, anything that uses aluminum or steel is going to cost us more, and it's not really in my opinion, it's not really teaching anybody a lesson. I think an open market is a better market. But that's again coming from I'm used to be was a big Ron Paul libertarian guy until the libertarians decided not to allow Ron Paul to speak at a libertarian convention for whatever reason.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah, so I'm a little more for the free market system there, which I could see that's what you're looking to do there in your district too. Like you said, you have SpaceX and you have all that. Now, the people that work in those, the higher ups, for example, in those companies, do they live in that district or do they commute in?
Yeah, I think most of them commute in. A lot of them come from all over the place. So. And I'm sure they have a lot of EB1 type of workers as well. So a lot of their workers aren't homegrown, and I would like to try to get more homegrown workers in there. Because there's no reason for us to go to India or to Asia to handpick talent when we have the educational system in place, we have the right environment. I think we just have to change culturally and make education more important and meaningful again. So, there is talent, and I'll give you one story. I was hanging out in the park, a few months ago, and we're passing out food to the homeless. And I met this one guy. He was about 30 years old. He had a computer, and he was unemployed. I knew he was unemployed, and he didn't even have a car. He had a bike. I said, what are you doing? And are you trying to find a job? He's like, he told me he was coding. So, and I said, well, what are you coding for? And and he's like, well, he's just teaching himself how to code. And he didn't understand that he could find a job at companies like SpaceX if he knows coding and stuff. So he was just self-taught, and I think guys like that we need to groom a little bit better and teach them the proper ways to code instead of having him teach himself in a park with with just a computer and the Wi-Fi from his phone.
And how will we go? I mean, and I agree, because I know California has a really big homeless problem.
Right.
But
right.
how do you go about giving them the proper training without already going and depleting the funds that are kind of already empty already?
Right. Well, I'm a big supporter of hackathons. Are you guys aware of what a hackathon is? And I think some people change the terminology for a hackathon, but basically a hackathon is where developers and entrepreneurs get together in a big room and they have contests where they create a product. And the hackathons I've been to started on a Thursday night, and by Sunday they had a prototype of a product, whether it's an online product or a digital product or even a tangible product. And then they have a business a business summary, and they present to a venture capitalist. And so I would like to do more hackathon types of things where you could have innovation, and you can have innovation real quick, and with a prize at the end. I think if we do something similar to that, and it doesn't have to be a 3-day contest. It could be a year process type of contest. It could be a whole bunch of type of things. But we just need to get innovation out there, and we have to be creative with the innovation, and we have to find a way to connect the innovators to the entrepreneurs to funders, like the venture capitalists, and then we have to make sure that the regulatory to get the products into market are understood, and we municipalities and the state and federal regulatory bodies, they have to all work together. So I think we have to have more of a comprehensive understanding of how to get people involved, and if you get them involved, hopefully we'll have people train themselves, and then that'll spill over to get the corporations to fund some of these projects on their own if they're given the right incentives. So there's a whole bunch of things that we can do, and we can all do that through some legislative process as well.
All right, so you got a critic in our chat room.
Yes.
Who finally we were able to wrangle a specific question out of them.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you support taxpayers having to pay for Trump's wall and tariffs that are hurting American business? Well, we already did the tariffs.
We already covered the tariffs.
We just covered the tariffs thing, but how do you feel about the taxpayers paying for the wall?
No, well, we should have Mexico, pay for the wall, and and I'll even go further. In terms of like DACA, I say, the kids from other countries, I say we send a bill to the countries of origins and say, hey, look, we're, here's what it costs to pay for your kids' education from country X, and here's the country, and I bet you a lot of those countries would stop immigration if they are paying for not only the wall, but for paying for the education of the kids that come here illegally.
Yeah, no, and there's something else. And I'm not a big, at least me personally, even though, like I said, people could agree and disagree and stuff, I'm not a big proponent on taxpayers for paying for the wall. I'm not even that big proponent of the wall to begin with. I think that better border security in other ways could better benefit that. But what a lot of people don't understand is that, they act like Mexico deports people from El Salvador every day, from Guatemala every day. They deport a lot of people as well. And I mean, and no, do I think that we should be spending money on the wall when we have a broken VA system? Absolutely not. That's dumb. But on the same breath, that's why we also shouldn't spend money on modern art projects, like wasted money on that. Someone taking a piss on a crucifix, that to me is art that gets government funded. So if we're gonna talk about cutting funding, then let's cut across the board.
Yeah, and we have to look at the wall as it is a national security barrier. It's not the end all. We need more national security type of things. But so it's we also have to think of the safety of it. The wall just represents the security. People could still go under, people could still go over, and bottom line is most of the immigration issues are expired visas or overextended visas. So so the wall really doesn't take care of that. But because President Trump made the promise to get the wall funded and get the other countries to pay for it, we got to stick with our promises. Unless we can make a better deal out there. I think the best deal out there right now is, here's the promise, and we got to keep the promise.
And let me say this: I don't think that the wall is like this amazing. Like, I think some people mistake the wall as like this Game of Thrones fucking option. That we're going to build a wall and all our problems will be solved, and we'll never have illegal immigration again. Here's the thing, though, right? I've got no problem with taxpayers paying. Homeland Security said the wall would cost about $21.6 billion. Now, let's say it costs 35 because every federal project in the world is always disgustingly overpriced and overbloated and delayed. So let's go 35 billion. We spend 89 billion a year on welfare and illegal immigration and enforcement and all this shit anyway. So I feel like it's not good in the end if we can drive that 89 billion down by 35 billion or more. We've done our job. It's not. I understand it's still costing the taxpayer money. I would rather taxpayer money go into enforcement and not so much just hey, here's free food and stuff and free hospital visits and free driver's license and voting rights. That's where I start to go, all right, well, maybe a wall isn't like the whole worst idea ever.
No, I agree. And we could pay for the wall through other things. We can make redo rebudgetize in NAFTA. We could tax heavier on the remittance, and so there's a lot of ways that we can fund the wall directly or indirectly.
Yeah, you slap some ads on there like a baseball stadium.
Exactly.
Just be like, this mile of the wall is brought to you by Yahoo. That's still around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we could even make a smart wall. Where the we could put digital space on there for advertising. There's a whole bunch of ways we could pay for it. So,
see, another question here in the chat is, where do you stand on the transgender ban that's supposed to take effect in 2 weeks, military ban?
Anything that creates, full disclosure, I have no problem with transgender, and LGBT. I have no problem personally. On a personal level, I don't matter. But when you're talking about, in your case, you're asking how I feel about the military.
Military, correct.
If that is going to question the safety of other service members, then that's where I have a problem. If somebody is is upset about the transgender issue or of their body, and they're uncomfortable with their body, who's to say that they'll be comfortable in battle? So. Until there's evidence that can say that the transgender, based on their insecurity and so forth, then maybe they won't be in battle. And everybody has to. Every soldier has to trust every soldier. And if there's some doubt, then they shouldn't be in battle. Maybe they can be in service, and and maybe there can be some kind of convincement, but I just look at the safety and the mental stability of somebody in battle. And if you're upset about what gender you are, chances are you might be unstable for war. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I know, and I hear what you're saying, and a lot of people say that it's not classified anymore. It used to be as a mental disorder. However, if you do have it, it is the depression and anxiety that come with it. UCLA did do a study where transgender people have the highest suicide rate amongst, and it's sad because I think it was 40%.
Look, I know people that are 4F because they had asthma and poor eyesight. So, I'm just saying,
True, back in the day, if you had
I'm
flat feet, you couldn't serve. And you don't know what gender you are.
I feel like if trans people made up like 30, 40% of our population, we'd have to have this discussion.
Of course.
But it's it's such a small fraction that it boils down. You're taking a sample group that is trans in this country, which is already now not a very large sample group. And then on top of that, you're adding in the ones who want to actually join the military.
Which is even smaller.
Even fewer. And by the time you get down to it, we're talking about 25 people here. And the left likes to push this narrative of like, this is enslavement. And you're like, dude, it's the same thing they do with abortion. It's like, well, what if the father rapes his natural daughter and then sets her on fire? And then they, and I'm like, all right, maybe you get an abortion then. But Jesus, I'm talking about the millions of other abortions where it's just some girl who's a bartender who took the busboy home on a Saturday night and got drilled. And now they're like, well, what are you going to do? I'm going to wait 2 months. And then, what are you going to do? I'm going to get an abortion now. That kind of shit. Stop pretending like this giant group of trans, like we had this group of trans super soldiers standing by waiting to fight for freedom. It's a fucking daydream. They made this up in their head.
And you hear all the time, how many times you hear the stories that they love to push, like transgender woman wins men's competition. It's, like UFC fights and all these different things. They want them to fight here. They want them to do that there. And it's like, listen, if you have to take a hormone to be the human being that you want to be, that's fine. Look, I'm all for it. I have, and Mike knows it, I have transgender people in my direct family. Also,
Me
I have
too. Me too.
Yeah,
Me too. So
I have
I'm not mad at
LGBT
them.
people in my direct family.
Yeah,
and
he's
I
got
am
a trans
all for it.
cousin, and I've seen her, and she can get it.
Yeah, she's very pretty. But my point is, and again, it's this whole thing. Like, I will, of course, if a transgender person says, call me she, I'm going to call them she. I don't care. That's regular. That's respect. However, what I don't like is people like in Canada or in the UK where they tell you have to do it because it's no. That's where I put my foot down. No one should have to mandate anybody to do it. And again, even if I agree that people want to be, of course, if you want to be transgender, go for it. Do whatever you want. However, it's 100% also guaranteed that this is just now being completely studied in depth. And before, maybe we're jumping the gun, and let's see if we could figure out, what's going on, if there's a better way before we just put them in the military. And you're right, because the whole purpose of the military is you are one uniformed unit. They always tell you there's not room for individualism, You have to, adhere to certain things. And if there's a person who doesn't know if they're going to be a boy or they're going to be a girl, again, just the same reason, like allowing women in the military. There's plenty of women that serve in the military.
Right.
But I don't agree with them having to lower standards to get in to allow them in infantry positions, for example. My thing is, we have standards for a reason.
Yeah, and I think we all agree. We all agree that we love all people. But there, in certain situations, we just have to make sure that everybody is safe, and we have to allow for that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Anything else, Mike?
I mean, I don't know what else we got. Oh yeah, well, Maxine Waters.
Yes.
Of course, Trump referred to her as a low IQ individual,
which was hilarious
recently.
Yeah, I love that, and I think it's true. I think it's very true.
And isn't anybody who's calling it racist kind of racist?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Because if somebody went like, he's a really low IQ individual, like I'm mostly Irish. We're not known to be very low IQ, so I don't know why that would be racist. I don't know how that correlates. But a lot of people have called him racist for that. But isn't she sort of, we've talked about it on our show before, she's embarrassingly stupid. Like,
in my opinion.
She's proved it time and time again.
Yeah.
So, if we're looking at stereotypes, remember, I'm Asian, so I'm pretty good at math.
But I just mean in general, like if I was at a restaurant and Maxine Waters was my waitress, I would be very nervous about how my order was going to come out.
Right.
Just in general, I just feel like that shouldn't be a congresswoman when she doesn't. And I don't know, he got called racist for that, but in my opinion, it was more I think he saved himself because he used
Yeah.
he used one critical word during that process. He said individual.
Individual.
Which was
Yes.
perfect. You call somebody a low IQ individual, it's perfectly phrased to where they go, that's rate. I'm like, no, I'm calling you stupid.
Yeah.
You're a stupid person.
Yeah, he went straight to her, and it was directed to her. Everybody in the news media knows that he was referring to her. He wasn't referring to one class of people. He didn't refer to one color of people. He referred to her as being low IQ, and for all intents and purposes, she is low IQ. And I would tend to say that everybody in this race has a higher Q than her, and I would go on a limb and say I have a higher Q than all the other candidates.
Yeah, Maxine Waters famously said, I oppose this president, I do not honor this president, I do not respect this president. And I remember not just a couple years ago, if any one of us were to make that comment about Obama, we would immediately be called racist. We would immediately be called bigots, because you can't. And it's kind of what Maxine Waters is, and her supporters are doing too. That they're using. And by the way, I'm Cuban, so just to be clear, but they're using their race as a shield to where it's like, well, no, you can't criticize me because then you're immediately racist. And I think the tide's turning. I think after you call everybody racist, nobody could be racist anymore. It's like, okay, everyone's racist. At some point, people are like, yeah, okay, fine, I'm a Nazi. I really don't care. You call me whatever you want, but I'm going to say what I want to say.
Yeah, I want to go back to the America I remember, where you could just hate individual people, where you were free to do so without getting content strikes on YouTube.
Yeah, that's the other thing, the purging that's going on. What do you think about all the censorship that's been going on in social media recently?
And I'm noticing that on myself as well. And having it, personally hit me, where there people on social media, and in the traditional press, they're calling me racist and that I shouldn't use this platform. And when I use certain platforms, people aren't seeing my my tweets or lately on Periscope. I don't know if it's happened to you, but I'll be using Periscope. I won't even I'll have all my settings tight on Periscope, and then all of a sudden the sound will go out, and then I'll get these messages saying these weird messages saying that I can't do whatever, and then they pause me. So so we're being limited on free speech, and I appreciate websites like Gab.ai, where we could say what we want, how we want to say it, even if it is offensive. So we really should, if we are to believe in the Constitution, we really need to believe in the freedom of speech, and what they're doing on the social media side as well, on the traditional side, where they're suppressing freedom of speech. That's just wrong. Whether you agree with what the speaker is saying or not, we just got to stop that. And and I hate the fact that Twitter has blocked me out 2 or 3 times, and I can't stand the fact that Facebook puts me in Facebook jail quite often. And but how do we fight Facebook and Google?
That's the tough part, because again, I'm a big free market guy, and they are companies, they're allowed to run themselves as they like. I guess the quandary comes into when you have a country like Google who controls pretty much you Google something, you don't anything else it. You know what I mean? When you have a company that's become a verb, I don't know. It seems like they we talked about it. The SPLC is now monitoring YouTube videos for YouTube, and they're trusted flaggers, or Think Progress and stuff like that, and it's kind of like limiting. Of course they're going to say, "Well, just go to another platform." People don't understand
what platform. What platform? They're a monopoly.
That's the problem. YouTube loses money every year, and Google keeps it alive because it's so big, obviously. So YouTube isn't even making money, and unless you're a billionaire, multi-billionaire, to pump into the infrastructure YouTube has, I don't know how you would.
Well, I mean, some people, the very controversial Paul Nehlen has sort of introduced some ideas as far as maybe legislating things. But again, how do you legislate that?
Yeah, how do you legislate that, especially when they are an independent, company? They're a private company, or private in the sense that it's not owned by the government. We do believe in free market, but at some point, how do you regulate that? The libertarian in me says just let it go, and hopefully there'll be a competitor out there. But I don't know. I don't know.
And same thing with me. Like that's my thing. I'm a big I'm a big free market guy, and and of course we do have free speech. At least right now we could say whatever we want. But it's getting to the point now where if you want anybody to hear it, and as great as Gab is, it's not Twitter. And, it limits your reach to reach more people. And I think that, in my opinion, it's a coordinated way to cut back information. We've been hit with 2 YouTube content strikes. We've been 6 months we can't live stream. Our Twitter has gone down.
They took our Twitter away. They wiped it out.
Deleted.
Our original one.
We've been hit with 2, check this out, hate speech strikes on Twitch. And I'm like, hate speech? What? If anyone that listens to this show, look, we're a comedy show. We talk politics and stuff, but hey, come on, man, this is ridiculous now.
And we make some, look, we make some pretty inappropriate jokes here and there.
Of course,
we're fucking around. Like we've never, we've gotten told that we were bullying and leading targeted harassment, and we're like, against who? We've never once ever encouraged anybody to go after somebody.
Never.
We just, sometimes you are in the public sphere, as I'm sure you understand, and you make and you fuck up and you make a mistake, and it's hilarious, and we're gonna tool on you. That's just it's the nature of the game.
Yeah, well, it's gone so bad where even their so-called traditional press, leaks, gets it, because I've been attacked by Think Progress. Think Progress, just because I use the Gab platform, they called me a racist. How can I be a racist when, number one, I'm a minority. Number two is, most of my friends are minorities or black or Mexican. And, some of them are even in jail for murder. So, how could I be a racist against any class of people when I hang out with such a diverse people? But yeah, so I don't know what the regulations need to be, but we have to go into Congress and have a discussion. And and if Google, if we find out that Google needs to be regulated, let's do it. But it has to be fair, and it has to promote freedom of speech. If they're the only platform, and Google to me is the only platform for what they do. They are the monopoly, and we need to figure out something.
Are you guys doing you guys got like a debate thing going on? How's this work? You guys setting up anything?
We've been asking for debates for a long time, and not only debates for for Maxine, because we know Maxine, she won't debate because she has everything to lose, nothing to gain.
Well, yeah, she's literally retarded. I meant between you guys on the right, because there seems to be a whole thing. There's 2 other people I've never heard of, and then there's the Hollywood producer guy. You got the Hollywood producer now,
and we made a gentleman's agreement, a few months ago that we won't attack each other, and to the same extent, to mean extent, I'll point things out, and and then he'll text me saying, that I'm a bad guy, but I'm just stating the facts. So that over the weekend I got more votes, for the nomination, even though I didn't get the required 2/3 of the vote to get the full endorsement of the LA GOP. I got more votes than Omar and Frank, and that's attacking. So we need to do debates with Frank DeMartini, with Omar Navarro, and with Candace Camper, as well as there's another Democrat that the Democrats put in.
Forrest Baker.
His name is Joe Collins. Joe Collins. So he's a Navy guy. He just came out of nowhere. And then there's another Green Party person. But California is a weird state. We go the top 2. So the top 2 vote getters in the primary go to the general, and those people could be 2 Democrats. They could be 2 Republicans. In the most ideal world, it would be great to have me and someone like Frank DeMartini in the primary. Beat everybody in the primary and go to the general, because that would send a clear message to the whole entire country that there's a red wave going, and we got rid of Maxine Waters in the primary. So so more power to guys like Frank DeMartini. If he's going out into the cities and into the inner cities and knocking on doors, more power to him. I knock on a ton of doors. I have 100 people knocking on doors, even though I'm the least funded. We're doing that. And if we can, let's have a debate. So let's call them out. I know I'm trying to set one up with Will Johnson from the Bay Area. We're trying to do an online debate.
I want to do this.
So
I want to set this up right now. I'm calling them all
that
out.
would be
All
great.
I want Duterte. I want Navarro. I want this Candace Camper, right? And I want this Frank DiMartini. All right,
Yeah.
four-way GOP debate, 43rd
That would be
Congressional
awesome.
District. R.C. Maxwell is the moderator, right? You get Folklore Americana to film it, and Frank L.A. Werewolf Espinoza as the enforcer, just to be there,
right?
Sort of just to maybe come out like if anybody really like fucks up during the debate, he'll come out like the Apollo clown, and just sweep them off stage.
I like that.
I like this. We're gonna ship
I like
this
it.
idea.
And to provide security, I could get the Crips. The
I like that.
Who are now call themselves the Cripservatives. So we don't have to worry about Antifa because if Antifa messes around with the guys I know, I think they'll have their feelings hurt really bad.
Cripservatives. That's
Wait
the
a minute.
first I've heard of that.
If you guys have Crips lined with you, why don't we just take over California? Much like is the Congressional District in California like GTA San Andreas, where you go fight for gang territory? And
I
then
picture
the
like
squares turn colors.
Yeah,
it
like
just
the
turns
Warriors come out and play.
Yeah, I feel like it's California, like the Tupac California love song, where they're just all riding on dune buggies.
I want this. I want a four-way debate. Okay,
I will bring the Crips. You can invite the Crips. I can invite the Crips. I can invite the Del Amo Crips. I'll ask the Roller 90s.
Well, maybe
I'll
not
ask
too many of them.
The hundreds.
Maybe easy on the Crips. We'll get some Proud Boys there. It'll be a little less, a little less dicey that way. And then we'll get Dave Goss to broadcast live from the event. Guys, I'm giving you all this fucking gold right now. California,
I love it.
Get off your ass. Get the four of these guys together and let's do this.
Yeah.
President Trump would love it because when Snoop Dogg says that he wants to make it a Crip nation, Snoop Dogg didn't realize that when I talk to Crips, because they have so many because they have so many kids, and because they want their kids to not live that lifestyle, they want to live a conservative life. They want to make sure their kids are properly educated. They want to make sure that the money that they make goes into their kids' future, not into government spending. So these Crips that I hang out with, they understand, free markets and so forth, and everything that the Democrats and the liberals have been teaching them. They are saying they're disgusted with it, and now they're conservatives, and they even have T-shirts called Cripservatives. So if you go on my Facebook page and just look at the timeline, you'll see a whole bunch of lowriders. You'll see black dudes holding up shirts that say Cripservatives. So I got it going on. I'm in the streets.
So let's get this out there because I want everybody to know the facts. All right, fact number one: Edwin Duterte wants to bring jobs back to the 43rd Congressional District of America. Fact number two: he does share DNA with the madman Filipino president Rodrigo Duterte. And number three, this nigga rolls with the Crips, dog. So if you will not find a harder candidate in the 43rd district than strongman Edwin Duterte.
I will roll, with cars bumping, with the Impalas, with the Impalas, polished to the nines. So so if that's what needs to be done, I will make sure that, and in fact, I will make sure that the candidates get picked up in the lowriders.
Oh, I love that. A stretch lowrider. That's the way to go.
Can
for
we
it.
make this
I don't know if we have
happen,
a stretch
please?
lowriders, but I'm sure I could find some convertible Impalas that will pick them up.
I have
If
never
they're
wanted
scared,
an event to
we'll have
happen more than for this debate with lowriders and Crips.
Let's figure this out.
And
That'll
this-
get news
can
too,
we
for sure.
Please get this going.
and because I'm Asian, I can get the Asian pocket rockets out there.
Ooh, the Tokyo drifting,
Asian
bro.
pocket
Even
rockets.
bet- yeah.
I'm the unifier. So
I love that.
people have to understand that.
Well, where do we direct everybody? Well, we've already hit it full hour.
It is at Duterte CA, Duterte California on Twitter. And where else can they find you, man?
Well, they can find my website, DuterteForCongress.com. To make donations, it's EdwinDuterte.com. Facebook, follow me at Facebook.com/Duterte for Congress. And I'm all over the place, so you can find me on Gab. So you guys could even call me. I'll try to answer as many phone calls and as many
Awesome.
texts as possible. Just as long as we can get Maxine Waters, out of office. That's our number one goal. We have to put her into retirement. So thank you for your time, and
Thank
I had
you.
a great time. Hope I could come back on your show again.
You're always welcome.
Yeah, no, you're welcome back for sure,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
We'll host some debates too. You let us know.
Yeah, we're gonna make. No, I'm making this thing happen.
We'll
out
make it
there.
happen.
We're gonna pull the strings. I'm telling you.
All right.
Yeah. And if you want this week, if you want more, you want the conservatives, I can have them sit right next to me, and I can have a whole bunch of. I can even stream in a lowrider car if you want.
Please get us a conservative crip to come.
Oh,
on
I
our
would
show.
love to talk to a conservative.
That
crip.
would be amazing.
Thank you so much. We appreciate having
Ladies
you
and
on.
gentlemen, congressional candidate and cat lover Edwin Duterte joining
Take
us.
care. Have a nice day.
Have a good weekend.
See ya.
See you guys.
Great segment.
Yeah, that was a he
Our
was
friends always hook
great.
us up with the good guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, remember, look, I don't give a shit who gets the nomination. Whoever it is needs to beat Maxine Waters.
Yes. That we all agree with.
Yes.
Our time has come to an end today.
That was fun. Yeah,
That was
we are
great.
done. Guys, remember, one stop only now. Revenge of the Cis. That's CIS.com. If you want to donate, you go to /donate. You got the PayPal, the Venmo, the Patreon, all that good stuff. Our Amazon banner, click on that. If you're going to do some shopping, it always helps us to give us a couple of shekels.
Yes.
Rate us 5 stars on iTunes, on Facebook. Help get the word out. We rely on you to do that because Lord knows social media doesn't let us do it.
And if you like the music, it's C. Thomas Howell, SEETHOMOSHOWL.
We will be featuring a new rotation of artists very soon. A
Yes.
lot of different synthwave people. It's going to be very exciting. We're working on some cool stuff coming up soon.
Don't forget to get the C. Thomas Howell album March 16th. It's $4 on Bandcamp. We will see you guys tomorrow.